Just a year ago, Canada and the US stood united, slapping a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles, effectively doubling their price and shutting them out. The goal? Protect North American automakers from a flood of affordable, high-tech Chinese competition. It was a fortress mentality. Keep the market safe, keep China out. But now, in a stunning reversal, Canada is reportedly about to scrap those tariffs entirely. The same cars once banned could soon be rolling into Canadian showrooms. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government is signaling a dramatic shift, one that's sending shockwaves through the auto industry and diplomatic circles. Why the U-turn? Canada is choosing a new path, one that could reshape its relationship with both the US and China. This isn't just about cars, it's about alliances, economic strategy, and the future of manufacturing in North America. As Carney tours Asia, making deals and shaking hands, Canada is signaling it won't let Washington dictate its trade policy anymore. It's a bold declaration of economic independence, one that could secure Canada's prosperity or leave it caught between two giants. The world is watching as Canada, once the quiet neighbor, suddenly becomes the wild card in global trade. The stakes? Nothing less than the future of the North American auto industry, and the next move could change everything. To understand this shift, let's rewind to October 2024. The US, under President Trump, declared a trade war on Chinese EVs, citing unfair competition and national security. Canada, deeply tied to the US auto market, followed suit with its own 100% tariff. The result? Chinese EVs vanished from Canadian showrooms overnight. The logic was simple: protect local jobs, keep out subsidized Chinese cars. But the North American auto industry is a tangled web. Tariffs on China meant higher prices and fewer choices for Canadians. Tesla, for example, had to stop shipping affordable Shanghai-made cars to Canada, forcing buyers to pay more for German imports. The fortress mentality backfired, consumers lost out, and the market shrank. What started as a show of solidarity with the US quickly became a burden for Canadian drivers. As months passed, the downsides of isolationism became clear: higher costs, fewer options, and a government wondering if it was time to open the gates. The question: was protecting the market worth the price Canadians were paying? The answer, it seems, is about to change, and that's why the next chapter is so important. So, why the sudden change? The tariffs were supposed to protect Canadian industry, but instead, they left consumers with expensive, limited EV choices. The government's green goals stalled. How do you push electric cars when no one can afford them? Meanwhile, Prime Minister Carney began looking east for new economic partners. High-level talks with China hinted at a strategic pivot: drop EV tariffs in exchange for China lifting restrictions on Canadian exports like canola and pork. For Canadian farmers, this could be a game-changer. It's a classic trade-off: affordable EVs for Canadians, new markets for Canadian agriculture. The upcoming APEC summit in South Korea is where insiders expect the deal to be sealed. Carney's message is clear: Canada is open for business, and it's not letting US trade disputes dictate its future. This pivot to Asia is about diversifying partnerships and securing prosperity in a world where old alliances are no longer guaranteed. It's a pragmatic move, one that puts Canadian interests first. The world is watching to see if this gamble pays off, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The contrast with the US couldn't be sharper. President Trump's America is doubling down on tariffs, protectionism, and an America-first agenda. For Trump, Chinese EVs are a threat. Letting them in is seen as surrender. The US is building economic walls, determined to keep China out at all costs. Canada, meanwhile, is tearing down barriers, betting that openness and competition will make it stronger. Carney's government sees global trade as an opportunity, not a zero-sum game. This split marks a historic divergence. For decades, the US and Canada moved in lockstep on trade. Now, Canada is seeking deeper integration with China, while the US isolates itself. Ottawa sees Chinese EVs as a chance to lower costs, accelerate its green transition, and gain leverage in other trade talks. This isn't just about cars, it's a fundamental clash of economic philosophies. The world's longest undefended border is now a dividing line between two visions of the future, and the outcome will shape North America for years to come. At the center of this pivot is Prime Minister Mark Carney, a veteran of global finance. The so-called Carney Doctrine is simple: Canada's future lies in diversifying partnerships, especially with Asia. Carney's team is forging new ties across the region, from trade delegations to high-level summits. The goal? Move beyond transactional deals and build lasting, interest-based relationships. The potential EV agriculture deal with China is a perfect example. Both sides win, and Canada gains leverage. This is smart, pragmatic diplomacy. Less about old alliances, more about what works for Canada. It's a calculated risk, especially as US relations sour. But relying solely on the US in an era of America first is seen as economic vulnerability. By building bridges to the east, Canada is creating options, flexibility, and control over its own destiny. The Carney Doctrine is about making Canada a player, not a bystander, in the new global order. It's a bold move, but one the government believes is necessary, and it could redefine Canada's place in the world. If the tariffs are dropped, Canadian consumers win big. For a year, buyers faced high prices and limited EV choices. Removing tariffs means affordable, innovative Chinese EVs, BYD, NIO, XPeng, flooding the market. Competition will force all automakers, including Tesla, to lower prices and innovate. Ironically, Tesla stands to benefit most. It can resume shipping cheaper Shanghai-made cars to Canada, boosting sales and market share. This move also supercharges Canada's climate goals. More affordable EVs mean faster adoption and a greener future. The government's trade and environmental policies finally align. Cheaper cars put money back in Canadians' pockets, while farmers gain access to Chinese markets if agricultural restrictions are lifted. The benefits ripple across the economy, from urban drivers to prairie farmers. While geopolitics are complex, the economic upside for Canadians is clear. It's a policy that puts consumers first. And it could transform the Canadian auto market overnight. The question is, will the gamble pay off? While Canada eyes new trade opportunities, Washington is fuming. Embracing Chinese EVs is a direct challenge to Trump's core economic policy. The US-Canada relationship, already strained, could enter a deep freeze. Trump sees this as betrayal, undermining the united North American front against China. Recent trade talks collapsed over a bizarre spat involving a Reagan video and accusations of AI fakery, highlighting just how fragile the partnership has become. Canada's pivot is a clear signal. Ottawa is done waiting for Washington to play nice. The fallout is real. Auto supply chains are tangled, investment is stifled, and the seamless North American market is fracturing. For Canada, it's a declaration of independence. For the US, it's an ally gone rogue. The special relationship is being tested like never before. The divide isn't just about policy, it's about fundamentally different visions for the future. As Canada looks east, the US digs in its heels. The world's longest border is now a geopolitical fault line, and the consequences could be felt for generations. North America stands at a crossroads. Canada's move to scrap tariffs on Chinese EVs is more than a trade tweak, it's a historic pivot. One path leads to isolation and protectionism, the other to global integration and opportunity. By opening its doors, Canada leaves the US standing alone in its hardline stance. The US risks falling behind in innovation and affordability, while Canada could become a hub for affordable cutting-edge EVs. The North American car market, once unified, is splitting in two. Automakers face new complexity, and the dream of a seamless made in North America vehicle is fading. Canada's gamble could reshape the industry. If it works, it accelerates the green transition and boosts the economy. But it also risks angering its most powerful ally. One thing is certain: the old world of North American trade is over. Canada has made its move. The rest of the continent, and the world, will have to respond.